Okay, so I'm pretty sure this lets me record while I'm uploading the other video, which is great. So part 2 tonight that I wanted to talk about. I first of all can't understand. I'm super objective. And so I can understand when people say certain things that they do regarding not wanting to be in a relationship with a toxic person and yada 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 yada. No one wants to be in a relationship with a toxic person. And I don't want you to be in a relationship with a toxic person. And people with borderline personality disorder absolutely can be toxic people. People who don't have borderline personality can be toxic people. I have never said that I'm an advocate for unhealthy relationships. What I don't understand is that you're bashing these people, but you're coming onto a site which is strictly to help people understand certain traits. So yes, of course, I'm talking about unhealthy behavior on here because it is people looking for help, looking for understanding of these particular pieces of them and how they can work on themselves. They're literally here to understand and better themselves. And there's a bee outside my window. And you find it not hypocritical at all to leave bashing comments on anyone relating to it. If that makes you feel better, I mean, go ahead. It's not like I think you're really affecting any of my viewers. So whatever helps you feel good, okay. But I also strongly urge you to maybe consider the fact that you're not perfect. And also keep it to yourself, because I think we learned in kindergarten that if you don't have something nice to say, no one wants to hear what the fuck you have to say. No? All right, cool. So, on that note, I understand it. I'm not being facetious to anybody. Everyone is welcome here. Just be nice or go away. So, that being said, some of the comments I see are always, okay, so you want everyone to cater to you, or you guys are narcissists, or it's me, all you care about is what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. First of all, again, I will come back to the point where, yes, we are talking completely about someone with mental illness, their trait, because that's what this whole site is about. So yes. I also try, when people ask me to make videos on how to help, I also make it for the other side. I can't say necessarily, I've put in years of work, so I can't necessarily say how much I do or don't suffer from certain things I talk about anymore. But the thing is that I have been through it, and I needed to understand it or be able to pinpoint it to get, but anyways. So something really, really, really important came through my head the other day as I was driving. And I want to try and make it come out as good as possible, per usual. So let's give it a shot. I want you to try, especially if you're a non watching videos. It is more nons that watch these videos or someone trying to be supportive that come here than people with mental illness, I think. Or at least I get more messages from them, it seems. So that is literally just the coolest friggin' thing ever to me. I'm like on the smallest, most uncomfortable stool in the whole wide universe, just so you guys know. Okay. Ow, it's killing my foot. So, the best I can describe it, especially if this is all you mean commenters, listen up. The way that I can put this to you. When you say somebody with mental illness is, what is that word? Not high chaos, but high conflict maybe. Sure, whatever. That's fine. We can use it. Conflict is a great word. Chaos is a great word. You say that we are driven by those things. You're not wrong. And no one's saying you're wrong. Does that mean you need to keep saying it and making us feel like shit? No, absolutely not. You probably smell when you wake up, but we're not going to say that to you. You know what I mean? Just don't say something that somebody already knows. It's not nice. Be a nice person. Please, everyone, be nice. Okay, so you say that we are high conflict. What I need you to understand is when someone makes the decision to better themselves. So let's say, for instance, let's take a puppy. Let's take a puppy, shall we? A puppy that we rescue from a shelter who has always gotten the shit kicked out of them. Some are going to be aggressive. Some will be aggressive only towards males. Some will always flinch at your hand. That is a learned behavior. That poor animal, unfortunately, was taught fear. They were taught action and reaction. And it grows with you. And it takes a while to learn a new behavior. Anything that somebody changes about themselves at all is going to be like this. So I would like for you to look at it as somebody, especially, so a personality disorder is very, very, very almost often caused in younger years. Something happened. Let's take me, for example. I'll throw me out there. That's cool. I don't care. I suffered, not my favorite word. What made me deal with a lot of the things that I went through was a very high anxiety household. Very high anxiety household. Lots of fighting. A lot of fighting, chaos, constantly. Two parents that could not coincide. Eventually one left, which was the nastiest, messiest divorce, where I was taken from one parent, which I later realized that parent just kind of maybe gave up the fight more than I would have liked. Being a parent now, I understand that. But either way, so we there was a lot of fighting. And I was young. I mean, I was the youngest of all the siblings. So to me, being at that young age, I understand how marriage works now as an adult. It's ugly. And you can't always have time to care about how it's making the child feel. But I was young. 5 years old, just always sitting in my room by myself. I didn't have anybody. I was very used to being alone. And I was also, at this point, very used to losing the only person that I had. So my point is, when you learn this so young, you learn neglect, you learn abuse, you learn whatever at such a young age, you're going to grow with that right there. So dissociation was what my other video was on. That teaches a person to dissociate. That, okay, this hurts really bad and I don't want it to hurt so bad anymore. So I'm going to learn dissociation. That is where that behavior comes from. And so you say we're so high conflict. Maybe that person came from a situation where they got the shit kicked out of them if they tried to communicate at all. Maybe they watched their parents beat the shit out of each other and that's what they learned. I really hope I know that happens. I hope that that's not, anyways. Communicating. When you are not taught healthy communication as a child, how can you expect this person to just know completely how to function? You can't. That is the seed. That is where the personality disorder develops, because they are not taught these fundamentals of empathy, of okay, you can tell me how you feel, and they don't have a safe zone to tell someone how they're feeling and have that person care about them. That's a problem, and they grow with that. So, a lot of people, for a personality disorder, it develops when you're late teens, early 20s, whatever, and you start to want to better yourself. You want to, but it's not going to happen right away. First of all, it's going to come in layers. You're going to have good days, and then you're going to have shitty days, and you just get better. You get better because you work for it. But you need to understand, somebody who is just finding out they have a personality disorder, they're just understanding this. And give them a fucking break, man, because you don't know where they came from. They weren't taught how to express what they're feeling or to understand things correctly or to communicate correctly. And now they're learning. So you bashing them is not going to be effective. They need compassion. They need open lines of communication, like feeling like it's okay to be not perfect. You know, you gotta get it. And I told you to be nice, and I'll also tell us all, I gotta remind myself, have compassion. Like, these are all good things. So I guess I just wanted to add that as you gotta know that a person doesn't just have anxiety. A person doesn't just have these tendencies. They came from somewhere, and it is deep rooted. And unfortunately, something was wounded in them as a child, and they grew with it. And that takes a lot of undoing. And that can be said for literally almost everyone around you in some way, shape, or form. So don't take it lightly, please. And as far as those people like get bettering themselves and whatnot, don't quit, because I'm years into this shit, as you guys know, and I love being here for you and being able to help you, and I love being self-aware. I love how far I've come. But that doesn't mean I don't have twice as far to still go. I have come very, 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 very far, but I still always have my down days. And that used to be the worst for me, is I would work on myself and then I would still have a down day, and that's what made me suicidal for a while, because I was like, well, it's always going to come back to this, and I can't do that anymore. And it took years of getting through that to understand it's not just me. Just because social media shows us everyone's best days all the time doesn't mean that they're happy all the time. Everyone thinks I'm like the happiest person ever on my stuff. Newsflash. Negative. Absolutely not. But I make it a point to try, and when I am having a good day, I want to have a good effect on anybody that I come in contact with. That's all I want. And it doesn't mean that I have good days all the time. And so when I don't have a good day, honestly, I mean, I don't know. I hope I'm probably spitting all over the camera when I do that. When I don't have bad days, I don't hate it, because I know I'm probably going to get something out of it. When I have bad days, I usually come out of it because I realize something, and then I want to make a video about it. So this video was another pointless one that I totally just made you watch 2 pointless videos in one day. And you guys kept asking if I was going to come back or not. Bet you're pretty mad that I did. Okay, well, how about, since if you're still watching this, if you're still watching this, let me know. And I will literally give you a personal shout out for being fantastic. Words are hard. Because that's impressive. But also, we can use this video as an opportunity for request videos that you guys are so great. I know I have a ton of them in my messages. Maybe I'll go through my Tumblr messages and make a video on something that somebody asked me to make a video on, because that would be a good idea. Answering your requests. Now I'm just babbling. Okay, bye.